Hi, this is Kemi Lawyer, June 1st, 2021. As most of you know, I've been doing a story about what happened in Dumuje, Ugboko in 2017. In fact, May 2017, 4 years now. Two young men were killed there, Kennedy Alo and also Cyprian Kumoru. I went to Abuja to interview a lot of people, different people, and especially the Kumoru father. Benedict Kumoru talked to me about his son. So I'm on the phone right now with Peter Bamah. Peter Bamah, Mr. Bamah, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, I'm Kemi Lawyer, investigative journalist. I heard that you're the head of the Vigilante group.
Yes.
Before they disarmed you, is that what I heard, right?
That is very true.
Can you tell me a little bit about what happened?
Okay. On that 24th May 2017, I was not expecting anything. I didn't have any quarrel with anybody. I was in my house sleeping at midnight at about 1:30 to be precise. All of a sudden, a group of boys broke into my apartment. The leader of the group, called Aikomu Omezi. His proper name is Ashioma Omezi. Aikomu is just a guy name. It's a nickname. He was leading the group. So when I jumped from the bed, I discovered that a lot of people had already taken over the apartment. So they dragged me from my bed. I was half naked with just little pants I was wearing when I was going to bed. So they picked me. The leader of the group, Aikomu, said that Prince Nonsongwoko had sent them to my place to retrieve all the working tools of the vigilantes. And he followed up with so many questions. Before I could answer any question properly, the boys descended on me, started to beat me. They started to loot the house. When they came in, the first thing they did was to put off all the lights and put the house in complete darkness. Now, in the darkness, they started to loot the house, taking my own personal belongings, moved the vigilantes' motorcycles. Then they asked me to surrender the guns in my possession. I surrendered the ones I was having. When they asked for the rest, I told them that the rest of them with the rest of my members. And that was when they decided to drag me outside. The leader of the group said I should lead them to all the rest vigilantes to collect all the working tools. So they dragged me with that small pant onto the street. We were crisscrossing from one place to the other, from one vigilante's house to the other, collecting half naked. It was just a little pant. I was just lucky to have that pant on me as I was going to bed. If I was the kind of careless person that goes to bed stark naked, maybe that was how they would have dragged me to the street.
Jesus. Mr. Bamah, did you think they were going to kill you?
At one point, one of them said they had beaten me as if they really wanted to kill me. But at one point, one of them said that since none of their weapons could penetrate me, that they should set me ablaze. So
they were dragging you from house to house?
From house to house.
And what happened after?
Then at the end, after we had collected all the materials from my members, the leader of the group said we should go back to my house to collect all the particulars of the motorcycles. In fact, they collected 4 motorcycles, 4 double-barrel guns. So they said I should take. They dragged me to my house the second time to collect the particulars of the guns and the motorcycles. So when we got to my house, the whole place was dark because they had broken all the electric bulbs in the house. So in that darkness, I used their torch to search my shelf and brought the file which contained some of my own personal documents. Under that pressure, I gave it to them, to Aikomu. I handed it to Aikomu personally. So they took me out the second time, dragged me out to the palace. So when we got to the palace ground, they put me on the floor. Some of them were asking me to bury myself in the soil. They were packing sand on my body, on my head. If you see my picture, I'm a dreadlock.
Oh my God.
They filled my head, the dreadlock, with sand. So
when you got to the palace, who was in the palace? Was it Prince Nonsongwoko?
Prince Nonso was there as the chief host. His junior brother, Wadegu Nwoko, was there.
Wadegu was there. They were all watching you naked.
They were all watching. They were all enjoying the fun. And in fact, it was a large crowd.
Mr. Bamah, they dehumanized you.
In fact, that's exactly what they did.
Was there any police in this area or anything?
No, it was the following morning. I was lying unconscious in the house when Kennedy Low, this Kennedy Low you are talking about,
the
is
guy
my
that
brother.
Died.
Yes, he's my brother.
Wait a minute, Kennedy Low is your brother, as in blood brother?
Just one of my kinsmen.
Hey, okay.
So he was the one who came the following morning to take me to the police station where we made report. Then from there, the police took me to the general hospital.
Right.
Then I was in the hospital that day. That was on the 25th May, when Kennedy called me to tell me that these people had gone haywire, that they were going around beating people, burning houses, burning properties. Wow. Myself was still in the hospital. So the following day, I left the hospital and I went to a traditional herbalist who treated my fractured bones, because there was no, the hospital couldn't detain me more than that because there was no open wound. They just gave me injections, gave me tablets, but I was feeling so much pain in my bones.
Yeah, whiplash.
So,
whiplash. They dragged you. They dragged you all over the place.
All over the place, and they did all things, unimaginable things.
Can I ask you one question, Mr. Bamah? When they were dragging you from house to house to some of the vigilantes' house to retrieve guns and everything, what did they do when they got there? Did they arrest anybody, any of the vigilantes, or they just went there and said, "Give me the gun, give me"?
No, you know. When we got to the first person's house, in fact, they vandalized everything they met in the parlor. All the containers. Some of them were using their matches on the ceiling. In fact, they almost demolished that house. That was the first place we entered from my place after we left my place. Then when we got to the second house, the man was not at home. Some of them were attempting to pull the protectors on the window. Until one of them asked them to stop. That was not the man's house. He was just living there as a tenant. So we left there. Somebody said that they know where that man should be. That was how we were crisscrossing. We left where that place. They said somebody said they knew where that man would be sleeping. We had to go there. When we got there, we didn't see him. But when we still got to that house, they broke all the bulbs in that house. That's usually what they do. They put the house in
vandalize everything.
In that darkness, they loot the house. They did the same thing at one Victor Omezi's house, who just returned from London.
Let's go back to when Kennedy Ilo took you to the hospital. What happened after that? Because Kennedy Ilo was killed in that whole thing. How did he get killed? Continue telling me that part.
Okay, now, on the 19th of May, they came to his house and pulled him, just like they did to me. They came to his house and carried him to the palace and gave him the beating of his life.
Oh, so my God.
A few weeks after he died from the pains. From the wounds.
And nobody was prosecuted, nobody was arrested, except these people, Ifejoku, deputy, and the rest of them.
They arrested so many of them. Up to 8 or 10 of them. But at the time, we had that they were granted bail.
Yeah, they were granted bail. Then they rearrested them.
Now, it's only 4 of them that have been rearrested. Now, that's okay.
Where are the others?
Some are still roaming in the street, doing things the way they want, as if nothing is going to happen.
Okay, Fejoku was arrested. Deputy was arrested.
Yes. Nonso Omefe was arrested. The youth leader. The youth leader, Raymond Omesete, was also arrested. Yes.
And those are the ones. Those are the guys in Asaba Detention Center.
For now, yes.
They are the ones facing the murder charges of Cyprian Kumoru and Kennedy Ilo.
Yes. So on that 25th day, after Ilo called me to tell me that these people were burning houses in the night. No, that was around 3 in the afternoon of that 25th May when Kumoru was shot dead. So he told me that these people had shot somebody dead.
Yeah.
Then in the night, they went on rampage, breaking people's houses and burning properties. I know, but for myself, I didn't return to that village until after 2 weeks. I spent the rest of the days, after I left the hospital, I spent the rest of the days where I was treating my bones. So along the line, fell sick from all that serious beating, and eventually he died.
Very sad. Now, This young man that got killed, Cyprian
Kumoru, yes.
You said something just now that it happened on the 23rd of May.
No, 25th. Kumoru was killed on 25th.
25th.
This crisis, in fact, the crisis started on the 19th when they came to Mr. Ilo's house to pull him to the palace.
Yeah.
So 4 days after, which was on the 24th, they came to my place. Then the following day of 25th, that was when Kumoru, those guns they collected from me, that empowered them to go into a full-scale war the following day. So in the process, Kumoru got killed.
Are you aware, Mr. Bamah, that I'm actually investigating Kumoru's murder?
Yes, I'm aware.
This case is not about land issues. That's not what I'm investigating.
We have gone past the land level.
Are you aware that the Nwoko family in an entirety are on my Facebook page harassing me, cursing me, and everything?
I commented on one of your posts on your Twitter handle today.
Yeah. Oh, they're there on my Facebook. The whole family, the Ifejoku, the husband, the wife. Ifejoku's wife called Ned my paymaster and this and that. I'm not investigating the land issue. I'm investigating a murder. 2 murders, in fact.
Yes, that is your story on your Twitter handle. I saw it today.
Because what brought me to the story was a video that Pamela Ifejoku did and called Ned Nwoko a person that framed her father for murder. And I saw what Showore wrote. Tweeted.
She was saying nonsense. That girl...
She was tweeting, but Showore wrote something and said, Showore is my friend and my colleague. And I said, why would Sahara reporters be writing this? Do they know what this story is? Let me investigate the story.
Yeah.
Because Showore may not know everything. Showore said that when he was in federal CID, he met some guys there that Ned framed for murder. Ned framed for murder? Who killed these 2 people? That's what I want to know. Who killed? I interviewed Mr. Kumoru. Have you seen his interview with me? Have you watched his interview with me?
No, I have not. I
will send it to you on WhatsApp.
Okay, please do.
A man sat down with me, and his child was killed on the 25th of May. I was interviewing this man on the 22nd, I believe, and this man was basically asking for his son's body.
That's what he has been asking for.
I want my son's body. So the whole thing I investigated showed that there was a body. The boy died. There was a body, but it was buried and disposed of somewhere.
Yes.
And nobody knows where it is.
Okay, now, when he was killed, one of the vigilantes who lived close to the palace, he was the one who saw how they moved the boy's body from the front of the palace to the road junction where the body is.
Would that be the Kachi guy? Kachi and...
No. Kachi, no, not Chukuma. Kachi was one of them. He was inside them as at that time.
Right, but they hadn't kicked him out. They kicked him out when they suspected that he was a snitch.
Yes.
I interviewed Kachi. Have you seen my interview with Kachi?
I have seen it.
Then
he was telling you
Chukuma
exactly
as well. Right, Chukuma as well.
I will only tell you to mind what you record from Chukuma. He was not in town when all these things happened.
Chukuma said something that he saw it.
No. That's I listened to the interview and I'm trying to put it through now. Kachi was telling you how he was one of the planners, one of the executioners. So all he told you was the truth about how the whole thing happened. But Chukuma, they had all run away. When they had that, Chukuma was a vigilante then.
Yeah.
So when they had that, they had attacked the chairman, they all disappeared from the community. So every other thing, like myself, I was away from the community for 2 weeks.
So you're saying what Chukuma said is not totally correct?
No, not totally correct. Not totally correct.
What do you want Nigerians to know about this case? As I wrap up this interview, what do you want Nigerians to know?
It depends on what they want to know, because there's a lot to know. Kumoru was killed. Kennedy was killed. Myself escaped death narrowly. So it depends on what they want to know from me.
Do you think we'll ever find Kumoru's body?
Now, Kachi has led the Delta Police Command to the palace to exhume the body. But unfortunately, the
body was not there.
Was not there. It may have been removed because it's forbidden to bury any body in the palace. Maybe that is what they realized.
But they need to tell us where the body is. Okay, Mr. Bamah, I will get back in touch with you if I need to. I really thank you for this interview. I'm Kemi, lawyer. June 1st, talking to Peter Bamah, the chairman of Vigilante Association at Idumuche, Uboko.